Welcome back to the Creators MBA show. My name is Dr. Destiny Kopp, and I am super excited that you're joining me. Over the next few episodes, I'm going to be doing something a little different. I have asked two of my friends to come and interview me about the other business that I run. And most of you know me from my personal brand, which is the Creators MBA brand, my destinykopp.com brand, but I also run a separate company called HobbyScool. Now, in this episode, Kate Kordsmeier is going to dig into some of those details with me. Where did the brand come from? What was my thought process when I was actually launching it? What are some different things that I tried in the beginning to monetize that may have not worked as well as what we're doing today? And really just kind of the origin story, if you would. So I know that you're going to love this one, and you're also going to see a little bit about how my brain works as we go through some of these episodes. So I think you're really going to enjoy them. All right, let's jump right into this one. Thank you so much for joining me. I am super excited to have this conversation here today. I have Kate, who is a dear friend of mine. She's going to be chatting with me, and we're going to be talking about HobbyScool and the origin and how it got started and all that good stuff. But before we get into all that, Kate, I just wanted to introduce you. Can you tell the audience who you are and how you help people?
Yes. So I'm Kate Kordsmeier. I am a great friend of Destiny's, and I'm the founder at Success with Soul, which is a brand designed to help people grow their businesses without social media, without burning out, and without a huge team. So I'm excited to get started in talking about this because I do think most people know you as the Creators MBA person, and a lot of them have no idea that you actually run a whole second company. So tell us, Destiny, what is HobbyScool? Who's it for?
Yeah, so HobbyScool is my B2C brand, and it's a totally separate company. Like you said, it's a totally separate email list, totally separate website, totally separate LLC. As of this morning, I set a new LLC for it. So it is a totally separate business. And in HobbyScool, we do online learning virtual summits. We do them every single month in all types of hobbies. I've actually just this past week did our 2027 schedule for HobbyScool.
Oh my gosh. It's August.
Yeah, in August. We're recording this in August of 2026. I have everything planned out until December of 2027. And we have all types of different types of events coming up in all types of hobbies. One of the new ones that we have coming up 27 is the Memory Keepers one, which is all about scrapbooking and all sorts of things like that.
But I think what's really interesting about this is that you started this B2C brand. And when I first met you, I was like, oh, wow, so you're super crafty. And you were like, no, not at all. And so I think this is interesting and something that people might not even think about is because we're all trying to monetize your passion and turn what you love into a business. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but you really took an opposite approach here. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's funny that you asked me about that because you're right. I am not crafty. I don't do any of these hobbies that we're talking about. I have done tennis in the past. I do like pickleball, but in terms of all these crafty type things, I don't do any of it. And you're right. I am a marketer. I am a business person. And how I came across this particular brand is we were down on vacation in watercolor, and I was on one of those domain name generators. This was a few years ago. This was before AI. So I was on one of those websites that kind of come up with business names. And I came across this really cool name called HobbyScool without the H. Sometimes people in that brand, did you spell it right? I'm like, yes, I spelled it right. It's HobbyScool without the H in there. And I was like, you know what? I really think I can turn this into something. I think I can monetize this. And I just bought the domain name. I didn't do anything with it for immediately. So I was thinking about, okay, how can I monetize it? What should I do here? I thought about different things like doing a marketplace where people could go and post or upload their hobby type workshops and we can sell them and we can both get commission on them. Or maybe a model like that. I'm like, no, I don't really want to do that. I started out with paid bundles because that was a business model that I'd seen another business doing. And I'm like, this might work. I could do a paid bundle. And I did 2 of those. And yeah, we made revenue from it, but it really wasn't growing my audience and my email list like I wanted it to. And then I was like, okay, maybe I'll do virtual summits. I had done some online learning virtual summits in my B2B brand, and they had been successful. And I'm like, okay, I know how to do this. And I was like, okay, let me test this out. And one of the first ones I did was in the home gardening type niche, and it did well. And I'm like, okay, I am onto something here. And then I started doing some more. I did the art of expression one and the art of handmade one. And I also did one in the homeschooling, I should say, more back to school type niche that didn't do as well. So I tested out different ones, and I really realized that my particular audience, they do love these crafting type things. And that was a hot niche out there. And I was like, okay, I'm going to capitalize it. So that's how we all got started in HobbyScool. And now bringing you to August of 2026, moving into 2027, we do one in every single month.
And I want to get to that because running an event every single month is no joke. But I want to stay backed up here for a minute first. I'm personally just curious, what made you even consider the crafting and hobby world, given that you weren't personally interested in it?
I just really just stumbled upon it, quite frankly. I just really stumbled upon it from a perspective that this was a niche out there. That was a hot niche. People were interested in it. People had money to invest in it. People had time to invest in it. So it was really something I stumbled upon, Kate. I didn't do any market research or anything like that. I really literally went out there and started launching events to test what worked. And I think it was that action that really helped me stumble upon something.
Which is, again, I think so many people think that they have to have all this clarity before they take action. They have to know all the answers and have guarantees and certainty. And it's like, that is just not how any of this works. You have to go out there and throw spaghetti at the wall and test things and experiment and play and figure out what works. So take us back to the very first summit. How did you actually pull it off? Did anybody really show up? Did you make any money off the first one? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, so we did make money, and that was my aha that, okay, this business model works for me. So we grew our email list. So that was important for me, right? I had a brand new kind of kid account, an email list there, and I knew I wanted to grow it because we all know how important it is to have an email list. So I knew I wanted to grow that email list, and this event also allowed me to make money at the same time. So it was really those 2 things that I was really focused on, the email list growth and monetizing it. So once I did that one event and we did a few more after that, I was like, okay, this event model is something I can basically scale, which is what I'm looking for.
And so now HobbySchool runs pretty exclusively on free virtual summit. So for someone who's never run one, can you explain what even is a virtual summit?
Yeah. So a free virtual summit is where we basically come together 3 days in a month and do these, I'm going to call them live workshops. They're not actually live, but they become live for somebody who's registered. So let's say somebody registers for this live event and it runs from Tuesday to Thursday. Generally, we'll have workshops every single day that they can watch for free. So they can watch these for free for 24 hours. So on day 1, on Tuesday, the day 1 workshops become alive and they can watch them for free, day 2, and then day 3. Now, how we monetize this is through the VIP pass. So in the VIP pass, people get lifetime access to those workshops so they can watch them at any time. And we also have some premium speaker bonuses in there. So the speakers will donate these premium bonuses, which allows them additional ways to grow their email list, and then they can monetize on the back end of these premium bonuses. So that's what's included in the VIP pass. And we have a full funnel set up. So as I've worked on this over the years, I have a pretty strong funnel that I have set up for these particular events. We will have an order bump that's generally around $7 to $9. We'll also have an upsell, which is generally the workshops from the previous year events if we ran it there. And then we have our Craft and Create Club, which is our membership. So we'll have the annual offer there, which is $70 for the Craft and Create Club. And if somebody says no to that, then we have a down sale, which is the monthly. And that is generally how our funnel is set up there.
It's so smart. And you have got this down to such a science now. One thing, I just had this thought for anybody who is listening and is still struggling to connect the dots. It's basically your free summit is your lead magnet, and the VIP pass is the tripwire on the lead magnet. And then you've got a funnel set up on the end of it. So it's not actually that different of a strategy than most people are probably used to. It's just that the summit is the lead magnet, and then that's much more than just delivering a PDF to somebody. But I think it converts a lot better than just delivering a PDF to somebody.
It converts very well. I would say generally our registration pages, especially for the organic one, which is either we're driving traffic there or the speakers are driving traffic there, they generally convert over 60%. So when you compare that to other type of lead magnets, you can see, yes, that's a very powerful lead magnet.
What is the role of speakers? Like, why do other creators keep saying yes to being part of your summits? Are you paying them, or what's in it for them?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. And our speakers, and we have speakers that come back to multiple events every year. We have speakers that come back to, I'll just mention the Art of Handmade Summit because we have that one coming up. They're like, every single year, I want to participate in that. So we've had speakers who have been speaking at that for 4 years because we've been running it for a good amount of time. So they get 50% commission on the VIP pass, the order bump, and the first upsell. They get 30% on membership. So membership can be recurring, so they get 30% on that, but 50% on everything else. The other thing that we do is we place a really strong kind of emphasis on them growing their email list. For instance, in the event we had in July, I've had somebody, she's also in my Creators MBA. She participated in that event and she was like, Destiny, I have never had such a growth in my email list than I had in that particular event. She goes, I've been doing summits and bundles for several years now. And she says, I couldn't believe it. She goes, they also upgraded to my tripwire. She goes, it was just an amazing time. That's what we do. We put a lot of emphasis in people growing their email list and helping them, making sure that they can convert them.
Yeah. So what's in it for them? They're not necessarily getting paid to speak at the summit, but they are getting free email leads onto their list, and sometimes hundreds of free leads that they would otherwise have had to grow slowly, organically on their own or pay Meta to run ads. So I think it's a no-brainer for a lot of people.
Yeah. And I would say that we do have affiliates that could make $2,000 from an event. So
yeah.
So they can earn a lot or convert very well. A lot of it depends on their audience and how they've trained their audience.
So there's affiliate opportunities. If I'm a speaker at one of your events and I send my email list to your free event and they upgrade to the VIP path, to the membership and those things on the back end, I'm getting a commission on all of that too. So yeah, I think it's a great collaboration opportunity. You've answered this a little bit, but I'm curious if you want to say anything more about how this model kind of fits into your creator's growth flywheel.
Yes. So in HobbyScool, the Creators Growth Flywheel, for those of you who are listening and you're not familiar with it, is my kind of signature model framework, if you would, that how I set up to grow these digital product businesses. So we have the track stage, the engage stage, the nurture stage, retain, and the advocacy stage. So I'll walk you through really quickly on all of them. So the attract stage will be people coming in to the event for Hobby School. There's different ways they can do that. We promote them to our own email list. The speakers and affiliates promote it to their audience, and we also run paid ads. So that's the attract stage. The engage stage is when they sign up for the event, and then we have the tripwire offer, VIP pass offer on the back end of that. The nurture stage is basically our weekly newsletter that we're sending out, and also the content that we have, right? We have a lot of content that we also publish there. Retain will be our membership. We also have a Shopify store where people go in during these events and they just purchase from that. I don't do a lot of promotion there. We get sales in the Shopify store. And then we have the advocacy stage. So the advocacy stage would be people basically promoting our events. So a lot of times people who attend the events will promote, the affiliates will promote, and we gather a lot of testimonials. I think in the last event that we had in July, we got probably 30 plus testimonials from attendees. So that's pretty normal for us. So we're getting tons of testimonials that we can use going forward.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of people who host these kinds of events, sometimes getting the attention is the easy part because you do have all of your affiliates and speakers sending their sometimes really large email list to you, but then it can leak right back out. And so I think if you want to say a little bit more just about how the flywheel really keeps people in instead of letting them just fall out the bottom like a traditional funnel might.
Yeah, so we keep them in because we're doing these events every single month. So at the end of the event, we basically say, here's what's coming up. Here's what you don't want to miss. So it keeps them in our world, if you would, so that they're not thinking, okay, she's not doing in another event until 4 months later. So we start promoting almost immediately. So how our promo schedule works is we start promoting 3 weeks before the event. So you're going to start getting content that promotes the event coming up, just different things every single week. We're going to be promoting that event, then we're going to have the event. And then we're going to we might be promoting stuff that we're doing in our Craft and Create Club, but we're also going to start promoting what's coming up in the next event. So we're definitely keeping people in our world.
Yeah.
Constantly.
I have kind of 2 follow-up questions for you before we wrap up here. One is, this sounds like a lot of work. So one question would be, how did you systematize this? And I know this list could be a whole multi-hour long conversation, but if you want to just give us a high level overview of how did you turn this into such a scientific system that you can repeat it so easily?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And this is a question that everybody always asks me, wow, you do this every single month. Yes, we do, but we have a very systemized process. We have a systemized process for finding speakers, for onboarding speakers, all of our marketing and everything, and putting together all of the information for our speakers and affiliate. All of that is systemized. And we use AI for where we can and where it makes sense. But everything is a very rinse and repeat type process.
Yeah. And you've got a team that basically runs all of these for you. I know we're going to be talking about that in a future episode of like how you've been able not only to systematize this, but then for you to step out of it and let your team really run it.
Yeah. So I generally only spend around, I would say, 5 hours a week in Hobby School. I definitely have Hobby School systematized. I have somebody who works on recruiting the speakers. I have somebody who works on the customer support type stuff. And then I have somebody who works on onboarding the speakers and all the marketing information. Yes, all the marketing content. So I'm really there. What I really try to focus on is more strategic, here where we're going. For instance, putting together the 2027 event schedule, more looking at what do I need to do to get this business ready to sell, which is something that I've also been working on. I always, even from the beginning, I knew with Hobby School is that I was going to sell it one day. So that was something from the beginning. I knew I wanted to do that. So that being said, I need to make sure that I'm not a central kind of feature here. I need to make everything about the speakers and the audience and And that's another reason why we put so much emphasis on the speakers, because this is really about them and what they're bringing to the table and to the attendees.
It's such a brilliant business model. And especially, I know there's lots of people that are into the idea of faceless marketing, and that's not what this is, but it solves that same problem of people who are like, I don't want to be the center of attention. I don't want this business. I don't want to be the face of this business. I don't want to have to show up for everything. It's a really cool model. And you've started to answer at least my second question from before, which was, this sounds like a lot of work. Why build a second company at all? You already had Creators MBA. What does HobbySchool give you that it doesn't?
So I really just did it, honestly, just to challenge myself. If that
is like Destiny in a nutshell, y'all, too. Destiny is like, I don't need to do any of these things, but I am smart and I need to use my brain.
Sounds awful, right? It sounds, why in the world would you do this? But I just needed a challenge. I needed the intellectual stimulation. And I'm like, I think I can do this. So
it doesn't sound awful at all. It's very inspiring and just goes to show just how smart you are, and that this has all been such a strategic thing from the very beginning. How different is the HobbySchool audience from Creators MBA?
They're two completely different audiences, right? Now, I will say the speakers in the HobbySchool, a lot of them have come over to be clients of mine in the Creators MBA. I think that's a natural kind of transition for them.
Sure.
Because they're interested in how I built HobbySchool and they want to do something similar with their own business. But yeah, in terms of the end user for HobbySchool, it's not the same.
Yeah. All right. I think we're coming up on the end here. If someone listening teaches one thing and wants to build a real audience around it, what's the first move you tell them to make?
I would say that, number one, start your email list. Number one, get that up and running, get that lead magnet up and running. And then I would go start demonstrating your expertise. I think virtual summits are a great way to do that because people see you, especially if you're in the crafty type field. They can actually see what you're demonstrating. They can get to know you. They can see if they like your teaching style. And that is one of the fastest ways to grow your audience, especially if you're in these crafting type niches. You want people to see you, get a feel for how you teach. And you can do that by teaching at a virtual summit.
Yeah, definitely. For everyone listening, you'll have to start pestering Destiny the way I do to start teaching her virtual summit model to those of us in the Creators MBA audience, because she really does have it down to such a science. And I think so many people could benefit from getting your system installed into their business. So now that you've told us a little bit about it, we'll all have to start harassing you to do this.
No, thank you, Kate. And I'm happy to go. I'm an open book. So any questions anybody has.
Yeah. All right. Great. That's it for me, Destiny. Anything you want to say before we wrap up?
I think we're good, Kate. And I'll put all the links in the show notes for people for HobbySchool, how it runs. I have a lot of articles. I've written a lot of articles and behind the scenes, so everybody can go check those out. And I'll put those links in the show notes.
All right. Thanks, Destiny.
Thanks for listening all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed this episode today. If you loved the show, I'd appreciate a review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast platform. Have a great rest of your day, and bye for now.